Aquarius, welcome to your in-depth yours and theirs. I hope you're well. I hope you're fabulous. One of the common questions I get about yours and theirs, does it have to be about a love partner? Does it have to be about a spouse? Does it significant other? That kind of thing. No, it does not. Yours and theirs is simply my describing a connection that you have with someone else. I do, however, read from the point of view of a general love reading, yes, but as in all things with all tarot, take what resonates, leave what does not. So I am essentially describing you, someone tied to you, and your connection. That could be anybody, though. Family, friend, co-worker, that kind of thing. But again, presented from the point of view of love. Okay? But yeah, there you go. Same with Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. You'd have to watch to know if it resonated. So again, it doesn't matter. Okay? Take what resonates, leave what does not. Reverse energies as it applies, more so with yours and theirs. If it is non-reversal, I will tell you. All right, let's get cracking. Show me. Show me Aquarius and their person, please. Show me Aquarius and their person, please. Show me. Show me Aquarius and their person, please. Show me Aquarius. Ooh, okay. Cards are talking today, yeah? Show me Aquarius and their person, please. Show me Aquarius and their person, please. Show me Aquarius and their person, please. We're going to start with your side, but as I just said, reverse energies as it applies. For your side, Ten of Wands, burden, strain, Knight of Wands, you don't want to. You want to free up that energy. Ace of Pentacles, make room for something new. I like your energy, I do. It's kind of in that respect of cleaning house. I have these things that are weighing on me, Ten of Wands. It's not necessarily fun. It's not necessarily pretty. I am starting to get a little riled up in terms of I've done my bit. I've done my hard work. I'd like to relax, please. With that Knight of Wands, your energy would like to free itself in some way. Ace of Pentacles, what that is to you, I do not know. Some sort of new opportunity, possibly in work, especially if you are feeling very laborious right now, overburdened, overtaxed. Some of you are putting or dedicating new energy into exactly that, new, for that reason. Like, so in your own downtime, when you get a moment to yourself, your energy picks up, feeling excited for other opportunities in your life. I want to ease up this energy with the Ten of Wands and be a little freer. Okay, we'll see how that's happening, but so far you're showing me singular energy. You could be a single Aquarius. Let's keep going. The Wheel of Fortune, the Three of Swords, Three of Cups. Somebody wishes to reconnect with you, long and short. Over time with the Wheel of Fortune, the feeling here of pain has not changed. There's pain. There's somebody who floats around you. Could be past, fairly recent past, present day, I don't know. But they are saying that they miss you and that they would like to connect and or reconnect with you. They kind of feel far away, but there's a soreness or ache in this person's heart. And they would like to reconnect with you. I'll clarify, see further, but they don't seem to be within your immediate proximity. So I don't quite know who I'm describing. You might. Let's see what's shared here. Judgment in due course. Ten of Swords. The Empress. There is some sort of ending here that seemed inevitable. Judgment was attached to it. Wheel of Fortune. Ten of Swords, and someone here showing me remarkable amounts of pain. Ending, having to deal with it. It seemed inevitable. It was coming. And the Empress, they were better for it, though. You know, somebody stood in their power here and said, this isn't for me. Or this was a decision that was a long time coming. And in that acceptance of the truth, we freed ourselves remarkably and became empowered. Okay? The overview. Yeah, I know. You're showing me a lot of fire. You might have some very strong fire in your chart. Could be connected to someone who does. I don't know. But you're showing me a lovely, fantastic, light Queen of Wands energy. At least you'd like it to be. I know you can carry a lot of fire in you. You would like it to be more productive, lighter, I should say. I don't know. Feel passionate, lit up. Inspired once more. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about. I want to ease up my burdens. Okay. I want to feel almost reborn again, refreshed again in my own energy. You do seem to be gravitating towards new with the emphasis on my energy needs to go somewhere and I don't want to feel so prohibited or inhibited anymore. I just want to move forward in my goals, realistically as well as energetically. So I cannot help but think that this designation is yours. There's something within you that understood at some time that something was over and was likely overdue to be over. And I do believe you triggered it. And you were empowered for it as the Empress. It was a correct form of what to do for you. Okay? And when we act in our own best interest, no matter how difficult a situation is or how painful, we tend to stand in our power, not because we're wrong, but because we're right. It's one of those things, if we triggered an ending and we felt bad about it or guilty or wrong, it would show. But you're telling me there's something here that caused you pain, and you did what you could to alleviate that pain. And that meant being self-empowered, kind of sucking it up and saying, this is on me. And in so doing, I'm not saying it's not pain or cost, it taught you a lot, but specifically it taught you self-empowerment and what it is to value yourself, put your values first, and your sense of self and accomplishment first. And again, all you're telling me is that I had to do something hard, but it was right for me. My energy feels a lot better, a lot freer, and those are the things I'd like to pursue now. For some of you, I have to insist, who was it with like Pisces? There's, kind of like Pisces, there's a tone in here that for some of you, this is future-oriented. In other words, it has yet to be. It's meant to be present-oriented energy, but sometimes when somebody opens up with things heavy energy that suggests long overdue, time spent, time served, impending judgment, or something like that, it can also really strongly indicate future orientation. In other words, this hasn't happened yet. For others of you, this is present-oriented. For others of you, this is past-oriented. And for others of you, this is yet to be. Okay, so just FYI, for some of you, you're looking at your future. A year from now, 6 months from now, 2 months from now, 2 years from now, I don't know. But yeah, for some of you, this is yet to be. I have to point that out. I have to, just like Pisces. So if you have Pisces in your chart or you were connecting to one or something, you might want to check theirs out. I'm pretty sure it was there. Yeah, I know it's heavily future-oriented. All right. Let's get cracking. I'm going to start here with that Queen of Wands. Your overall energy, show me that Queen of Wands, please. Feeling good, taking care of yourself. You got a little extra oomph in you, you know. But what can I say, Christina? What can I say? I feel good. I look good. I've been taking care of myself. I've been working out. Yes. I went out and bought myself some new outfits. Show me that Queen of Wands, please. Show me that Queen of Wands. Show me that Queen of Wands, please. In Aquarius's overview. King of Swords. There you are. The World. The Queen of Swords. Wow. Lots of determination there. For some of you, this was a mutual agreement. You are showing me the cycle. I did call it early on. I said it was likely you. That's what you're showing me. King of Swords. The fixed signs, of course, are the kings. There you are. Signing off on that world, that particular cycle, whatever it is to you. And again, I'm seeing it not once but twice. So far you're showing me energetic consistency, and I thank you for that. When people are not consistent, it shows. And right now you're showing me consistency. There was something that was weighing me down, causing me harm. It was likely overdue to cycle it out. And my having done so meant my freedom and empowerment. I don't know what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be love. It could be a work opportunity, some sort of obligation that was not benefiting you. It was not in your wheelhouse, as it were, to come back in your favor. The energy distribution was off. There was no point in keeping this thing open. So again, it doesn't have to be love. So anyone who might have, or you, I'm sorry, might have recently exited something consciously and willfully where you were no longer contributing to a them, a they, a situation, a circumstance, whatever. And it looks very fresh. But again, for some of you, this is yet to be. Because I'm telling you, it's overdue. Or it's coming. So do keep that in mind. And then I got a Queen of Swords. So it could be a mutual agreement between two parties to kill something, to cycle it out, let it be done. Or you could be a double, triple heir. Point is overall, you have confidence in your decision. In other words, again, it was right for you. Empowerment. Determination, strong mind, strong body, you name it. You know, there's some things that you were literally saying, I take responsibility for it and I'm cutting it out. It was overdue. Okay. We'll see if we can get more. For some of you, yes, it is a mutual agreement. Again, future orientation. For some of you, yes, I have to insist. For some of you, you're parting ways with somebody. It's a little rough, but you two seem to be agreeing on it. Okay? Let's get over here and clarify you. Show me this Ten of Wands, please. Show me that Ten of Wands, please. Show me that Ten of Wands. Show me that Ten of Wands. Perhaps you're connecting to a fellow air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Somebody might have some strong Sag. I don't know, but it's quite a bit of personality. I just see that in your reaction to your own efforts, you don't seem to dispute what you've done. Again, so that tells me it was correct. All right? All right. Show me that Ten of Wands, please. It's all about that consistency. I only have a problem with it if you, the one I'm reading for, has a problem with it, in which case I'll tell you if there's inconsistency. So far, you're showing me consistency. That's good. Show me that Ten of Wands, please. Show me that Ten of Wands. Show me that Ten of Wands. Show me that Ten of Wands. Show me that Ten of Wands, please. Excuse me. Show me that Ten of Wands, please. The Four of Wands, marriage, commitment for some of you. Fighting. Yeah, there's been some fighting within a relationship. Four of Wands does not have to be marriage, but it usually denotes some sort of relationship that is established and no one questions it, unless, of course, there's a moon attached to it or some sort of confusion. But this isn't. There's no confusion around this relationship. Okay? There is, however, frustration and fighting in it, and that's no good. Okay, that's no good. Would we like a fresh start in that relationship? Yes. Is it feasible in this Aquarius's mind? No. No. Unfortunately, the energetic strain, I don't even know if it's fighting, honey. It just feels strenuous. Ten of Wands, Five of Wands. There's so much tension in that relationship. There's so much tension in this household. It never seems to alleviate. You seem to have, or marked with, somebody is marked with positive passion. And whoever that is, rarely gets to express it. Whatever positive passion that person has, you or them, doesn't get to be expressed in healthy ways. And it causes tension. Okay. And otherwise, in what is a very established relationship, but then so too is it established and has been for some time, the frustration that dwells within it. So again, and I do believe it's you, you're showing me Ace of Wands as well as Knight of Wands, positive passion. You also opened up with the Queen of Wands. I do believe that you often feel you have to fight for your own sense of feeling good in this. And healthy passion in a relationship. It could be sexual, for sure. Or what you might just generically call good vibes. Okay? That's all positive fire energy. And when it comes time to express itself in the relationship, for some reason it goes negative. Somebody doesn't want to smooth out the energy, make peace, make love, not war, that kind of thing. Those both take passion, by the way. It takes fire to make love, and it takes fire to make war. And here we have somebody who would like to make more love, but ends up in a position of always having to make war. We don't want that. I don't know how long it's been going on, but it's long enough that you feel the weight of it. Okay? That's long enough. If the tensions were going to ease, it looks like it would have done so by now. If somebody wanted to have more positive direction within this relationship and express themselves in a more healthy manner without always being on edge, bitchy, edgy, demanding, push and pull, tug of war, energetic defiance, my way this, my way that, no, I don't want to do the same thing as you, no, I don't have the same level of passion as you, no, I'm not interested or excited about this like you are. You know, I don't know why these two people, one person can't do their thing and the other person can't do theirs, but it's kind of like if we can't sync up, we got to fight, and that just strongly disagree. You should be able to express the energy. But if it's one of those things where the energy that matters between two people is never smooth, well, individual differences don't really matter, do they? Because when the energy comes together, even under positive reflection, somehow it ends up turning negative repeatedly. Show me that Knight of Wands. 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 The day-to-day fussiness and blockage and frustrations seem to take over everything. It's like, oh, how dare I get comfortable for 1 second without somebody raising an eyebrow? I don't know why I just heard this. Somebody screaming, take your feet off the table. All the time with that. I don't know why I heard that right now. Huh. It's just another way of picking a fight. Imagine all that adding up all the time, all day, every day. I don't know, something like that. Knights of Wands. Knights of Wands, Knights of Wands, Knights of Wands. You never seem to be interested in the same things anymore. Some of that Knight of Wands is the Devil. 2 of Cups. 7 of Wands. Excuse me, I do apologize. It is that time of year for me. Oh, gosh. Again, I'm just seeing more of the same. What should be natural, healthy energy keeps getting diverted into something negative. Somebody is made to feel bad about their passion, and I believe it's you. I also believe it's you that internalizes your own sense of passion because it has become inconvenient for the other person, so you're made to feel a heavy burden about your own sense of good vibes or sexual energy because your person or somebody here is blocking the love. Okay? So that Knight of Wands is being clarified by the Devil, 2 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. Okay? Not great. Not great. Not great. There's constant fighting here. About passion, its expectations. Because someone's made to feel bad about how they naturally feel, the love comes blocked as well. It's just not good. It feels obsessive. It feels unhealthy. Somebody is constantly fearful of their own passion when they want to feel it so naturally. Somebody's made to feel bad about their interests and what turns them on or makes them fluid. And that's bad when it becomes a fear when there's nothing wrong. Okay. If we're just made to feel bad because it's like, well, you're doing this and it's taking time away from us. Well, if it's those things that make us happy, what's there to argue about? Whose time are you fighting for? Why can't you just have fun together or relax or do your own thing separately? But somebody here always feels on edge for the things that they want to do, and the more they're made to feel bad about it, the more it feels like there's no love here. You know? It's like the love feels very, very conditional. It feels a little too conditional for my liking. I don't like it at all. And it gets taken to a bad place. Somebody's constantly made to feel bad about their natural love and or sexual energy, and it's looking like a little combination of both. It's very conditional. Extremely. Like I said, that positive passion someone has, it constantly gets converted into something negative, and then somebody ends up feeling bad about it. I do believe someone's natural energy has far excuse me. I am very tired. If you'd like to know why, feel free to check out Leo's intro, which was out last Monday, a couple days ago. So we are still recouping. I am feeling so much better until I had to spend quite a bit of unexpected energy last, well, anyway, just watch Leo's intro. It feels like somebody's passionate needs, natural fire inclination, the kind of positivity, good vibrations that we have within our relationships is neglected, and they're made to feel bad for it or suffer for it. It just doesn't feel right. It's become a weird paradox of, you know, in order for me to be happy, I have to meet someone's conditions, but they're not necessarily meeting me halfway, and it's become a little codependent and combative. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good. Feels heavy. Sticky. Somebody always feels guilty for what they naturally feel. So I'm telling you, and I believe it's you, I believe whatever natural energy you had for this relationship no longer matches its purpose. What you experience and what you need are not being met in this current construct. Okay? You are not in alignment with your vibrational being. Now, I know that sounds vague and terribly unhelpful. I understand. I just don't like the conversion. And it's kind of a stew pot. So when I say reverse energies as it applies, that's what that means. Do I see you taking charge of this thing because you understand you've outgrown it? Yes. That's where your energy becomes congruent. Good. Congratulations. And that's why I also have to insist for some of you, this is future-oriented. Because I still see you heavily, energetically wrapped up in this. And you eventually get to that point of, I need to do what I need to do. Your emotional and energetic reflection of this connection, like I said, is no longer being sustained in this relationship in a healthy way that I can see makes sense. The love feels oddly conditional. And somebody has to combat their natural sense of passion and excitement and enthusiasm in order to meet this person's standards of love. So heavily conditional. And in turns, I believe, makes you feel bad about what you naturally feel. And that's again because you are no longer in alignment with whatever this relationship used to represent. You understand? And can I say I'm surprised you're energetically leading towards the Ace of Pentacles in the future? No, not at all. Why would I want you to stay in this? That doesn't look healthy at all. No doubt it started that way. But at some point, honey, you understand. You do. I see it here multiple times. At some point in your timeline, be it 2 years ago and you've been there, done that, or your present day Aquarius, or your future-oriented Aquarius, and when this actually fits you, at some point you have to understand when your positive sense of goodwill and drive and determination, which is all that good fire is no longer meeting the potential of what you understand positive output to be in your relationship, and it constantly becomes negative and your love feels conditional, you no longer fit this dynamic, or at some point it became unhealthy. It's day-to-day, almost like general warfare. I don't know how you can possibly meet this person's expectations of love or sexual energy, or how they can meet yours, because it seems to be combative and conditional, and those are not good C words. Combative and conditional. It's too much like chess. Way too much like chess. And it comes down to, how is it that I can make sure that they're going to have a good day, and do I even get one for that matter? What is it I got to do to make them not angry today, or pissed off today, or bitchy today, or give me the silent treatment today, or hold some argument or begrudge some bullshit against me today? That's not a relationship. That's barely getting by. Okay, show the Ace of Pentacles, please. It's not healthy, honey. It's not healthy. The natural passionate drive you have with this person in that dynamic becomes toxic and sticky and uncomfortable. Your good energies outstripped this a long time ago. And I don't think your needs are being met, especially if you're made to feel uncomfortable for your needs not being met. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And you are starting to feel blocked in your own love for this because you're made to feel bad about what you naturally feel. And that's what I'm saying, honey. Your passion and your love outstripped this a long time ago. I don't think you are energetically compatible to this anymore. I'm sorry. Or they're not. I don't know. I don't know. But that's a hell of a dynamic. And it could be happening at a physical level. Energetically, absolutely. I don't like it at all. It's not healthy. Some of the Ace of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the Six of Wands. You're not ready to move forward yet, but one day you will. You're going to have to trust that particular instinct. I know you're afraid to let this go. probably because you put so much of yourself into it, and there's times you really think you can pull it off and get that good positive energy back, but it's trying to override a lot of upsetting principles. Stubbornly holding on to this even though it causes you pain, and it makes you more sad than glad. Okay, but do you have the opportunity for new? Yes. And perhaps one day you'll put yourself in a position to take it, but now it's not that time. I just know that you will, most likely in future. So I'm saying this is heavily future oriented. There you go. Do you have the opportunity for new in future? Yeah, if you allow it. With Four of Pentacles says, however, I'm still holding on to this, even though it hurts me. Five of Cups. Some days I feel good. Six of Wands. I have to warn you against that. In dynamics like this, you will have good days. But the stretches in between, how big are those? Something to think about. For their side, the Wheel of Fortune, Three of Swords, Three of Cups. Show me this person, please. Over time. They need to realize trying to keep this thing together is just causing pain, you know? And that's a realization that's, I believe, overdue. But not just for them, you too. Eventually you'll catch on to it, just not right away. So I keep telling you, and I keep emphasizing future orientation for some of you. In other words, yet to be. Show me this person's Wheel of Fortune. Show me this person's Wheel of Fortune. Show me this person's Wheel of Fortune, please. Show me this person's Wheel of Fortune. Show me this person's Wheel of Fortune. The Hermit, healing, Six of Wands, pride, Queen of Swords. This person really in the recent past, and this is what's kept it going, at least on their side, what's kept it going is that they do seem to have a strong sense of will. I can fix this, I can fix this. I have determined upon it, thus I will make it true. So no doubt this person has a strong sense of will. Virgo energy here, it doesn't have to be. I also see heavy air for them as well. But yeah, over time with that Wheel of Fortune, this person made that decision a long time ago. There's nothing I can't fix. I'm very proud of this. Six of Wands. So in that kind of energy of there's nothing I can't fix, it's a very positive disposition. I respect that a great deal. There's nothing I can't fix. There's nothing I can't work through. And they actually legit feel confident about that. So that tells me this is a skill this person has carried with them for probably most of their life. There's nothing I can't work through if I just put my mind to it, and I respect that. Unless, of course, that's getting in the way of seeing things for what they are. Just keeping that fight going, it's exactly that. It's a fight. It's not a constructive project. Let's see how it's unraveling, because as far as I can tell, this method is not working. It's one thing, it's like, there's nothing I can't fix. And that's a great disposition to take for other areas, unless you're receiving evidence that that's not working. And I feel like between the two of you, you both have more than enough evidence at this point to see it's not working. Or rather, even if you're making it work, it's what you call low functioning. It's not high functioning energy. When somebody's made to feel bad about their love energy, and it's conditional, and it has to be pleased, this hurts me, but I gotta hold out for it. I'm forsaking new opportunities to move on with my life because I feel tied to this. That's not healthy love. It's not healthy passion. And there's dependency in here, and it doesn't feel good. Show me this Three of Swords, please. I respect there's nothing I can't fix. That's just not true. We have to accept our limitations. And in that mindset of there's nothing I can't fix, if that's causing more harm than good, then you got to know when to stop. People are either demonstrating positive output and feedback for their efforts, or they're not. So while it's admirable, it's also kind of like, you two read the room. Are you compatible anymore, or are you guys just making it work? Because, all right, Sonny, your energy's saying, I'm just making it work, Christina. And there's so much more in me, energetically speaking, that I could do, but I use it towards this, and it gets taken to a weird place, but I'm kind of used to it. And I do wish my energy was better functioning in this, and I wish I get to express myself more passionately in this and not have it rejected or make me feel like everything I do is conditional upon their love or approval. But you know, I'm kind of holding on to it. You're both showing me pain for holding on to this. So while they may have made up their mind a long time ago that when it comes to you, again, admirable, there's nothing I won't work through. I can do it. That's admirable. But is it helping? Let's see more about where this person is present day, because as far as I can tell, that attitude, that determination has made things worse. Now we're blind. 8 of Swords, 2 of Wands, waiting, Ace of Cups. So now it's like that I can do fix it attitude is working against this person, because all it did was play for time. And all it did was allow us to accumulate further pain. 3 of Swords. We are blind to that pain. We don't want to see it or acknowledge that this particular attitude here, while it might work for many other areas in our life, is not working towards this because it's unhealthy now. So that becomes unhealthy goal when we have mounting evidence that all it is hurting us. Okay. So this person might be a bit of a stubborn person as well. It's admirable. There's nothing I can't work through, but what tools are you bringing to the table that can apply to them as well as you? And then between the two of you, did you both agree upon the same tools? And are you both using those fix-it tools correctly? And is it mending things between you, or is it just making things worse because you both have kind of agreed we'll work through this at all costs, even to ourselves? In which case, that is a form of self-sabotage, especially when we don't want to see how much hurt we're causing ourselves and the other person because we, quote-unquote, there's nothing we can't work through. So, I'm sure that has helped in many ways when stuff has come up between you two, no doubt. And I have to, and I agree. You know, from my point of view, there's nothing I can't do once I agree to it. But when I start getting evidence that whatever my goals are not coming forward, in fact, it's causing me more harm than good, well, that kind of thinking also needs to suggest you got to know when to stop. You got to know when to cut things loose. You need to know when to let things go, because ultimately it's just causing more harm than good. Doesn't matter how much of yourself you put into it. In fact, you doing that is just making things worse. You have to accept evidence. And this person doesn't want to accept the evidence that as time has passed, there's just more unrequited or unfulfilled or unacknowledged pain here. And we're just waiting, and I don't know why, but we're waiting for things to just magically be okay again in that Ace of Cups energy. But we're blind to the pain. We don't want to see it, the reality of the situation. And we're just kind of waiting with a vague sense of hope that things will be okay. The love specifically will be okay, or that it is okay, or we're reassuring ourselves blindly that the love's okay because time has passed. And when you kind of have that disposition of there's nothing I can't fix, and you kind of leave it at that, it's going to suck when you start receiving evidence that you don't want to see that that's not working. See what I'm saying? Show me that 3 of Cups, please. We still hope to keep it together. Show me that 3 of Cups, please. Show me that 3 of Cups. Show me that 3 of Cups, please. Show me that 3 of Cups, please. Show me that 3 of Cups, please. Now, it might be you that even though you feel the love and or passion here is blocked and that it's become conditional, it might be you that is terrified to let this go. Okay. Even though it clearly doesn't seem to serve you anymore. And that's something you're going to need to work through. Do you feel like you are present day, not about your past? I don't care how you two were successful in the past. We're looking at present day energies. You cannot dictate your present or your future on the good times and the good vibes of the past, because those are no longer their present day. You work with what you know, not what was. We have to separate those two. Realistically, are you happy? 3 of Cups, please. I know part of you is afraid to lose this. You can't imagine it any other way, even if it doesn't feel emotionally or passionately smooth to you anymore. The energy interchange between you two, I thought that they were a little further away from you in a way that they are emotionally. The Magician, the Five of Cups, the more they try to pull this together, the more miserable they are. You both have opportunities surrounding you in the future, but neither one of you is in a position to accept them yet. So the more that this person has the pretense of bringing this together, there it is again. The more I try to bring it together, the more it hurts, but I refuse to acknowledge it. So nothing has changed, in other words. No change plus no change equals no change. So I see this kind of expectation all the time. I'm hurt, but I don't want to deal with it, and I'm just going to vaguely hope things will work out in the future. That's always dangerous because you end up, again, forsaking your future because you don't want to see the realities of the present day. The more this person tries to manifest this, they're showing me a Five of Cups too. You are both playing along in a construct that says, we both want it. It's still okay. Neither one of us feels particularly good in it. Somebody's emotions are conditional. The other person's passion has to be suppressed, otherwise it causes a problem. Somewhere in between the two, you two meet. And you more or less have the same output. We both reasonably feel we can keep this going. You do it, so do they. Theirs comes from a much more rational place. In other words, they can probably justify it mentally much more. You have fear built into you that says, but what if I dare leave this or they dare leave me? So I don't like this. This is blind manifesting, more of that false hope that I don't care for. I don't want to actually see what's going on because I've already determined a long time ago, years ago, that I will make this work no matter what. I think this person told themselves that. Under the vow, I don't know, maybe this is this person's second or third rodeo in relationships and or marriages, and they got to that point where it's going to work at all costs, okay? Because that's the energy that's coming through. Respectable as it is, this person has a hard time admitting, I don't actually want this anymore, but because I made this vow, that's what I got to go with. And so we refuse to see the pain that's accumulated over time for insisting upon this. And we just, again, kind of vaguely hope that love will show up in its purest form without any justification or evidence. So there's a very loose manifestation of, I can keep this together. So it's no wonder I felt that this person was distant from you. It's because technically they are on an emotional way. And although I think you two are heavily attached and you interact very much in the real world, most likely every day, you two are very emotionally and spiritually separated. But you both have similar outputs in how you approach this. Yours has more fear attached to it, and your emotions are caught up in it, your passion's caught up in it, or how you interpret their passion is caught up in it. I don't know. But you're both making sacrifices of yourself. It's kind of like we both agree to hold on, hold out, even if we're both very, very, very disappointed by this. We're going to keep it going, you and me. At some point that stops. I do heavily believe, Aquarius, this is my professional opinion. What I'm looking at is you two coming to a mutual agreement in future that it's over. Just not right now. Okay? That's what I'm looking at today. So again, if this isn't yours and it upsets you, separate yourself from the message, please. It's not yours. Move it on. Check your other placements. Start catching the next one. Real Tarot is real life. And I'm telling you, I do believe it's you. I believe. But whoever here who is marked with the healthy passion that feels they have to suppress it in this relationship because they're not exactly attracted to this anymore, or they're made to feel bad about their own sexual inclination, and it's conditional upon somebody's love and goodwill, whoever that person is, they finally get to use their fire in a positive way. And when it's brought forward, I do believe I'm seeing, it was actually like this, a mutual agreement between two people to end this. Whoever brings it forward sparks the idea, and the other person, I think, is inclined to agree. You two already have an agreement between you two, even if it's not spoken. Neither one of you is terribly happy about this, but you both hold on to it. I just don't like how egregious it is. While this is admirable, it's adding more harm to the equation. And by this, I mean, again, that determination I can work through anything. It's admirable, but it's not working in this context. Again, we have to know when to put our tools away, because these are not the proper tools for this job. Not anymore. Perhaps they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years. These were the proper tools for the job. They're not anymore. And if you both are turning a blind eye to how miserable you both are, or fearful you both are of leaving each other, even though you're not happy, then yeah, no change plus no change equals no change. You're holding on to it, and it makes you miserable. They're still trying to manifest it, and it still makes them miserable. So when I think two people are mutually agreeing to end this, you know, one of the best, I have to say, this is a side note, one of the most, oh my God. It just, having talked with people over the years and so many social engagements and working with so many people and couples and things like that, and one of the best outcomes for divorce I've ever heard in my life. It was the most amazing thing, and it was so simply said and simply accepted. No fanfare, no exaggeration, no two people working themselves into a frenzy till they absolutely hate each other and despise each other, because that's where you two are headed if this keeps up. Instead of mutually parting on terms that say, you know what, we're not that great for each other, and I think we're both adult enough to admit that, and I'd rather separate from you peacefully and calmly than hate you to death, because that is truly admirable. So I remember talking to an older gentleman once, and he had been divorced 3 times. And that's life. There's no judgment attached to that, you know. I remember he said about his second wife, he said, quote unquote, "It was my favorite divorce." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "We both agreed we were mutually bored." Wow. Wow. He said, "It wasn't difficult, it wasn't messy. We were both adult enough to understand that while it worked for us at the time, we married each other out of comfort and security, but that led us to being bored almost every day. We both kind of realized we'd rather have a crack at love one last time, even if it was foolish." And I was like, that is so fucking admirable. And he goes, he had to learn that through his second marriage, which led him to his third one, which he felt was, you know, I know, wait a second. Yeah. So he felt his third wife was the love of his life. And he said he wouldn't have known that unless they had mutually agreed that they were both bored and unhappy. Secure. They were secure. Right? But they were able to part on peaceful terms, recognizing that the relationship was not for neither one of them. It served its purpose. It served the purpose. They both felt mutually secure, which put them in a position to heal themselves and to actually understand what they wanted. There you go. So I thought it was fascinating. He was very honest, and I appreciated that. That was pretty remarkable. And I don't know that you two are bored, but I know that your emotional energy gets taken to negative places. And you're both, what upsets me is that you're both agreeing to being disappointed at the same time for the same thing. So I'm saying this to you in the future: judgment, inevitable judgment call, 10 of Swords to end this. And in the Empress energy, we rise once more into self-empowerment. It's reflected here. And this is where I believe you are present day. So let's get on into it. Show me this judgment, please. You know, life is full of lessons. Everybody thinks it's straightforward, but it's not. It takes a supreme balance of that yin and yang energy. In other words, getting your ass kicked and learning the lessons you need to learn in order to process what you need to process, knowing when to give up, and knowing when to fight for something or someone, because you're both on the same page. You two are oddly on the same page with very sad results if you continue to stay on it. There you go. But not forever. Judgment. Show me judgment, please. Show me judgment, please. Show me judgment, please. Show me judgment. Show me judgment, please. Yeah, I'd rather people part ways peacefully than to work into a fucking frenzy of mutual hate and disgust, calling each other the enemy, when you two probably knew a long time ago was supposed to end before then. You know? Some people don't, or just don't want to admit defeat. They'd rather hate the other person and hate themselves first before they do anything. And that's what sucks. That's what sucks. We need a bad guy, right? Everybody feels like that. I need a bad guy. So if I make them into a bad guy, or if I'm constantly starting fights, we can finally get the energy justified enough to finally break away. And that's, you get to that point of hating the other person. And that sucks. Dude, just confront yourself, confront the other person. Neither one of us seems to be benefiting from this. Or do we love each other very much? Not without a bunch of strings attached. Is that what you want? That's admirable. Cut that shit off before it goes downhill. Anyway. It's very interesting, Aquarius. Aquarius, very interesting, honey. Very interesting. A lot of lessons in here. A lot. Show me judgment, justice, and time that with that relationship. Seven of Cups, and properly giving it the proper, this I'm saying, we went from ignoring it and vaguely hoping for things to work out, and they're not, to somebody, and I think it's you, in due course, looking at the balance of this thing. What's actually going on? What are the real feelings in here? It's not enough to ignore them or hope shit works out, because that's clearly not working for either one of us. So somebody here smartens up and starts looking at this relationship, this commitment, in a realistic way. What are the real feelings in here? Is this what we want? Are we getting the best out of this? Let's talk about it. That's good. This is real confrontation. This is real willful vision. I'm willing myself to see this for what it is. Is it fair? Is it balanced? Is this what you and I want? Let's talk about it. Are we happy? Are we not happy? I'm not. Are you? I feel like everything I say and do is conditional upon your approval, and it makes me feel dependent on you, and I kind of resent you for that. Is that healthy? How come I always feel bad about my passion, or I don't want it with you, or you don't want it with me anymore? And just because you sit there and say we can work it out, does that mean you actually want to, or are you just saying that because you're used to it and you're giving me some sort of lip service because you don't want to go through this again? Is that why you're holding on to it, just so you don't have to go through a divorce? Let's talk about it. Let's get real. Yes, yes, yes. Let's get real, honey. Let's get real. It's overdue. And Ten of Swords. Let's talk about it. I respect that a lot. That's good, and it needed to happen. Present, future. I'm fucking calling it right now. Present, future. I am seeing a mutual parting of ways. In future. Not yet. Show me that Ten of Swords, please. Ten of Swords, please. Ten of Swords, please. Everybody's been showing me this, and we're not even in retrograde anymore. And it's good. I don't despair endings. If they're correct, they're correct. I don't dispute them, ever. You will never, ever hear me dispute endings when they're correct. I promise you, between these two people, an ending is correct. No, I'm just surprised how many folks have been showing me this. It's time to move on. And I'm very proud of everyone for that. I really need Gemini and Cancer to catch up. Everybody else is showing me that, even Taurus, bless them. So happy for Taurus. In case you couldn't tell if you didn't watch that Taurus video. Show me this Ten of Swords, please. Show me this Ten of Swords. Show me this Ten of Swords, please. Show me this Ten of Swords. Show me this Ten of Swords. Oh, I'm having to dial this one in. What's this Ten of Swords? Okay. Show me this Ten of Swords, please. Oh, interesting. Seven of Wands. Ten of Cups. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. It's been hard. It's been hard, and it's long overdue, and I'll tell you why. You're showing me all the tens. We opened up with that Ten of Wands. It was attached to you. And over here, clarifying that Ten of Swords, no wonder it's tricky. Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Seven of Wands. This is why we've been putting it off. It's because you two are obviously highly, highly founded. We're talking anywhere between 10 to 30 years. It's in that literal range for some of you. 10 to 30 years. Okay. We got everything in here. We got connectivity, out the yin-yang. We're talking family, friends, and career all intermingling, tied up, touching roots. I understand. This is why we've been putting it off. 7 of Wands. To end this is to end the foundation. To end this is to... feels like we're severing ties with family and friends. I strongly disagree. They will always be with you in some way. If they are true family and friends, no matter the division, they will remain as such. Okay, so let me put that off the table right now. It's a common misconception that if we separate, will some connectivity fall to the wayside? Yes, but they probably weren't meant to stay in your life anyway. We're talking about the stuff that touches more of your life. Family, friends, connectivity, community, possibly careers. We're talking about splitting. I don't know if you're familiar with root systems of a tree. A fully developed root system of a tree extends, and for some it's miles. The roots touch many things, and that's a scary thing to break up. You're talking about it. Is it worth it? Is this why you and I have stayed? Is it because of all this we've built together? Is all that happiness and the diligence to work through this and really be happily connected for the right reasons, is that still with us? This is why we've been putting it off. And this is what we talk about it. Realistically, what does it look like? To end this, to part ways. Is this what we really want to do? It's the real talk. The real talk. Let's see how this Empress is doing. Show me this Empress, please. Show me this Empress. I can't see what that talk entails. I just know it covers many, many things. Specifically, is this still benefiting us? We know how it can affect our foundation, family, and friends, but us staying together, how does it affect us? 2 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups. Someone needs to speak up about how they've been unhappy for a long time, and that is the Empress's job. It's either yours or theirs. But somebody needs to know what they want, and they need to own up and confess to the fact that they have been unhappy for a long time, not knowing how to contribute. There's a heavy loss of productivity with this person. The Empress hasn't had a job to do in a long time. Now, that doesn't mean that in any sort of sexist way, guys. Sex isn't about tarot, it's about the energy. But the Empress is the most productive card in tarot. She produces, she's the life force, she's inspiration. Okay, she's the life giver, the life bringer, the creative one, the one who is generous and gives her the best time, energy, and effort and support to the people that she loves, because she indeed is loved. This Empress hasn't been productive in a long time. In other words, everything I've just described, she has not done well. She feels like she does not have a place. She feels that she has not been able to produce quality of love, generosity, or support, and she herself does not feel like she is supported and loved in the right ways. Thus, we have a non-operating Empress. No doubt she used to be, but she no longer is. She no longer feels she has a place or that she's producing all those things. She feels very unhappy. And she feels like she hasn't had anything to do in a long time. And so that means then this 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups argument isn't as big as perhaps someone thinks it is. When an Empress doesn't feel like she has a job to do or anyone to take care of, or that she's needed, and she has a hard time admitting she's unhappy, it's not really the question of foundation, is it? It's more like, where is her place in all this? What is she doing? What's she going to do with the rest of her life? Somebody here needs to admit that they are unhappy and that they're always looking outward for a solution, and understanding, instead of understanding that the relationship is one of the many factors that should help them thrive as an individual and as well as a couple. And someone here, and I believe both of you aren't thriving, but someone here is overdue for admitting that they're not thriving and they're not happy personally. Okay? Even if that person is the breadwinner, they're still unhappy, even if they're providing at optimal level. Someone here is drastically unhappy, and they haven't admitted it. They haven't had the nerve. And it's kind of like when I put our foundation aside, the Ten of Pentacles, and when I put our Ten of Cups aside, I am personally very dissatisfied. We need to generate that particular conversation, and it needs to be fair. I do see these tens ending in due course. That's a lot of disappointment between the two of you, and you both roughly in present day agreeing to the same level of disappointment. It is what it is. Somebody here has a lot more passion attached to them, or you see your person that way, and somebody interprets that passion as a burden, or that it's wrong, and it gets converted into something negative. The other person's emotions are conditional. All I'm seeing here is a mutual agreement to cycle this out in due course. But it's going to take nerve on two people to have these open discussions so you can both reasonably conclude the same thing. Which is wild to me, because you both have reasonably concluded the same thing in present day. I don't think either one of you talks about it. I think the closest you come to it is when somebody says, well, you know, there's nothing we can't work through, so let's just tough it out and we'll be fine. Other than that, I don't think it really gets addressed. But yet you two are so alike in your unhappiness that you're actually energetically at the same level of vibration, which is low. This is going to take time. This is going to take lots of conversations. It will not be a one kind of thing where everything's resolved on one conversation. It's going to take multiple conversations over time before, when we realize, okay, let's take our foundation out of this. Let's take concerns of family out of this. Let's talk about you and me. Are we justified in this marriage? Are we justified in this relationship? Because I feel like at the end of the day, I'm not really happy, and I live with you, and I can kind of see you're not really happy every day either. Should we end this? And I can tell you right now, somebody here, this Empress person, Taurus, Libra, doesn't have to be. We do have a fair amount of Libra here. Capricorn, Aquarius, Sag. A fair amount of Libra is drastically unhappy. And they haven't known what to do about it in a long time. I see the output. And it does seem to come in as a mutual discussion over time. A realistic one. All right, let's get some advice for Aquarius, please. I am so sorry. I see a heavy amount of present day, and then I also see a lot of future orientation. Is it death as in over? Not quite like that. Is it transformative? No. It's looking like a cycle closeout. I think you two have accomplished whatever it is that you needed to accomplish. Okay. But it's kind of like, think of it this way. Let's say you two are on the mission to the moon. You both completed your mission to the moon a long time ago. And now you're both floating around in space, angry that your job is done in this commitment, and frustrated and unhappy that you're still in space. Neither one of you has agreed to come back to Earth yet. It's kind of like you're still living on that high of mission accomplished on the moon, and you don't want to come back down to Earth and admit that your job's over. Think of it like that. It's like I was describing with that fellow. He knew the reality of it, and so did she. You know, we worked together when we came together under that function, but that function served its purpose, and they both mutually recognized that it wasn't worth keeping going. And that was respectable. You guys went to the moon, and you did a hell of a job in your relationship. You built a 10 and a 10. But also with it came the other 10s. I'm not saying soul bond. I'm not saying lifetime partnership. I'm saying you two accomplished whatever it is you need to accomplish, and now it's time to come back down to Earth. Okay. Advice, please, for Aquarius. Mission. I'm sorry, mission. I kept saying mission. Page of Wands, Ace of Swords. It's time that we opened up more to the singular truth here. Ace of Swords, of course, is your master symbol. Nope. What else, please? Knight of Cups. Emotional energy outward. What's going on? Expressing. We need to express what's in our heart. Okay. We got to warm up to this particular truth. But somebody's saying, in my heart, I do feel like I want to be on my own. I kind of want to go my own way now. You and I did what we needed to do, and it made sense then. But our mission's complete. And we're starting to feel bad about ourselves and each other at the end of the day, every day. The good days are becoming fewer and fewer in between. I feel in my heart that perhaps I'm single again, and it's hard for us to discuss this or address it with the Seven of Swords. We have been trying not to think about it, right? Yeah, with the King of Swords, this is active knowledge that you have been trying to avoid or dodge like a bullet, and I saw that here for you, and I saw that for them. It's like I don't want to address it, but in somebody's heart with that Knight of Cups, they want their independence. Okay? The Knight of Pentacles, we've been slowly moving in that direction, no matter how much we've been sneaking away from those thoughts. We've slowly been moving forward in this emotional energy of being absent. Detached from this. I will say this. I want you guys to figure this out before... That was interesting. It didn't fully flip out, but it stuck sideways like so. I decided to look at it. It's the Lovers. For some of you, it's not this. For some of you, somebody out there, there is the possibility of a strong connection in the future orientation. Okay? But slowly but surely we've been moving forward into emotional void with this. It's just, again, we haven't wanted to admit it. So again, this is a form of self-sabotage, not just for you, but for them. You both, again, have agreed upon the same thing at a low frequency to just kind of like keep putting up with it because we can justify it, right? We can keep going. Again, that's beautiful. I'm going to make this stick and work no matter what. That's a beautiful goal, especially if this is your second or third major relationship and you don't want to go through it again. Again, is that enough reason to stay in this? And it might be, I bet you though, dimes to donuts, because I just know energy. I believe that person who is extremely unhappy and hasn't confronted themselves with it is actually that same person who said, I'm going to make this work no matter what. I bet you. Because when we make declarations like that, when we draw those hard lines, but it's not good for us, and we don't want to admit that that's not good for us, evidence is here that says otherwise, and we don't want to see that evidence, the more drastically unhappy we become. Because now we got to swallow that and eat it and make it our truth, even though it goes against our alignment of what we want and who we actually are. It's a well-intended thought. It's a well-intended construct, but again, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Just because you have good intentions doesn't mean they're working. And you have to be so brave and you have to be so strong as to admit that to yourself. And we see some very heavy realistic talks in future. And I do believe I'm looking at a mutual parting of ways. Amicable. And I hope so, because I don't want to get it to that point where you two can hate each other. You low-key accept each other. And somebody here does have a weird attachment towards passion or anti-passion, love or conditional love. Either way, the devil's attached to it and it ain't pretty. I don't know who's made to feel bad about what, but I don't like the results. Full stop. It doesn't really matter. It's not good. So if you two can start having those realistic talks and somebody can discover how unhappy they've really been this whole time, at least for possibly the past 2 years, so much the better. Okay. Oh, yay. Okay. LSP. The dragon's in reverse. Aries, Leo, Sag, but like I'm saying, negative passion. Negative passion that's not forthright or directive. Loses direction, loses sight, or someone doesn't appreciate the passion. In fact, they're made to feel bad about it. or it's no longer expressed in a healthy way. Heavy fire energy there, Aries, Leo, Sag. Okay, the clouds, it feels like we're surrounded by clouds, but do remember that even clouds have silver linings, grapes. Someone enjoys their food, someone enjoys their luxuries, someone enjoys their wine. Quite possibly enjoy wine on a rainy day. Capricorn energy, Virgo energy. Dog with a bone, the anxiety of all this, and then the great white shark in reverse. Scorpio energy, I don't know. It doesn't have to be, especially when it's upside down. In other words, the instinct to pursue is no longer there. So I don't know if you know that not all sharks, but the vast majority of sharks, let's say 60% or more, they do have that condition that if you stop swimming, you die. So they have very strong, as you might imagine, instinct to move and to pursue. And we have no interest to move or pursue in this, not really. Not really. The instinct, that killer instinct to keep moving, for real instinct and or intuition, emotional reasons, isn't there. But the determination of the mind to make it work at all costs is. So we're not listening to our instinct here. Oh no, why did I have all those in my hand? I don't know. All right, just to recap the letters: X, H, L, S, P, T. The wilted tulip. Yes, the romance fading. The intimacy fading, I know. Courageous. Medallion of Aries. Scorpio's medallion. The goldfish in reverse. Piscean energy, yes, but again, the lack of emotional fluidity. Things moving in a particular direction. And then somebody, this is the winged Pegasus. Masculine freedom, masculine independence. It's upside down. Someone feels that they have not been able to claim their independence or go their own way in a long time. Lack of freedom, lack of choice. I can't use my wings. I just can't. I can't choose for myself. I'm not allowed to. So that's more of that codependency energy. And somebody here secretly, and I do believe it's you, has been very much vying for your freedom for a long time. We have to come towards that truth, and it's a truth that you're not comfortable with yet. But it's sneaking up on you. Okay? All right, Aquarius, honey, that's enough. It's very interesting to see a very clear division between present and future orientation. Very clear division. So again, if you have very strong Pisces in your chart, please check theirs out. Very similar. Not totally similar, but the idea was there. And I'm saying that very similar towards you as well. This is a realistic, admirable talks, and they're needed. And there will be a time and place for them in your upcoming. When? I don't know. I'm not saying too much reference to timeline other than possibly next Libra season or next October is when we might really start addressing these things or looking at them more deeply. Other than that, I can't really say because so much of this is further out. This is where we are present day. And I am sorry, just I don't like that negative conversion of energy. You're saying you're afraid to let it go. You got used to it, but it's not the best of you either. We shouldn't be made afraid of our own passion or their passion, and we shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable with it or theirs. And we should not have to feel like our love is conditional or blocked upon passions either. It just, again, it speaks to unhealthiness and incongruency. Okay. All right, that's enough. I will see you in approximately 2 weeks for your intimate tarot. I don't know that I will necessarily tune into the same group of Aquariuses. But hopefully I can say something lovely, light, playful, and refreshing for you. That would be so very, very nice. This is clearly long-term relationship stuff that had its time and place in its heyday. You two did your mission to the moon, and it looks like it's time to come back to Earth. There you go. Put in the comments as you see fit, honey. Take care. Be well.